Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. We have a little difficulty with technology today. Yeah. I forgot about Mercury going retrograde. Oh well. I'm here. I'm just not using Be Live today. I know. Here's the thing: is that if for those people who are joining, trying to find me, trying to join, if you could give me a hand and I'm going to say the S word, share it out, because this is kind of a different place that I'm going to be doing a live stream, right? So many people are going to think that they can click on the link, right, that I sent out, and I'm having problems with that. So I had to do just a regular live stream. So if you could help me out and just share, like and share it the old-fashioned way, right? So I'm going to share it a couple of different places. No, I tell you what, it's Mercury retrograde. Hi, Julie. Julie Shumway Hill's in the house. Hello. Do me a favor, Julie, if you can, because I know that sometimes you're not able to, but if you can help me share it out, that would really be great. I'm going to send it over to the radio network first. And letting them know I'm live streaming. Please join us. There we go. And we're going to post that. Oh my gosh. Sprinkled. Yes, I know. I was going to do the same thing, use that word, but you know what? As I'm trying to shift gears here, I thought I'm not going to even try to remember to say sprinkled or spread. So I'm going to send it over to my newsfeed too, because everybody's going to think that I'm going to be doing the live stream through that link. And please join. There we go. There. Let me think. Do we have to send it anywhere else? No. I don't know. What an interesting last 10 minutes. I've been playing around with and kind of experimenting with the brand new Be Live Studio. It's called Studio 2. And I thought I had the hang of it. I don't know what happened. I'll go back in there after the show is done and try to figure out what the heck I did, because I'm almost positive it is operator error. It's nothing to do with the app at all. Yeah, technology is grand, right? It is grand when it works the way you think it's going to work, or that you're able to actually use it. I just have to laugh about it. And because we're in what's called a native live stream, Facebook live stream, I can't show your name and your comment on the screen. So I'll just have to read them out loud. Okay? All right, let's see who's here. Well, Julie's here, Julie Shumway Hill. Thank you for being here and helping out, Julie. I appreciate it. And Tina's here. Hello, Tina. I was just thinking about you this morning. I was wondering how you were doing. Yeah. I was helping my mom with some stuff this morning. She, Mondays and Thursdays are hard days for her, right? And so, I was spending a little extra time with her this morning, and I was thinking about, as I was putting the essential oils on her, and what she does is she looks at the oil that she's using, right? And what she does, she holds it in her hand, and she's talking in her mind, she's talking to the plants that are in that oil, and she's asking them to please come help her, right? And even though it's a rather modern day of herbal medicine, the way we used to do it, our ancestors years and years and generations ago, she still does that. She still, because when she used to make medicine for us when we were kids, she would be holding the plant and asking the plant, to come and help, and if they were willing to help. And so she's still doing it today, just holding the bottle. And so I was thinking about that indigenous healing ways. And so Tina, you popped into my head, and so I hope all is going well, and that you're heading out on that journey of yours with your community. I think it's great. I really do. Hey, Jocelyn's here too. Hello, Jocelyn. Jocelyn, I'm just kind of waiting a few minutes to let people kind of catch up with us and where we're at um, doing this native live stream. Yeah, and then Mom met a new caregiver today. Um, I don't want to call it a new place in town. They've been around for like 8 years or so, but this is the first time we've ever used them, and so she met one of her new caregivers today. It's somebody who will be coming in maybe once or twice a month when I have to go and do errands and that sort of thing. So I'm not rushing in one direction and rushing back after running just a couple of errands, and so that'll be nice. It'll help relieve some of the stress and the strain. Yeah, and we're actually kind of preparing. I'm looking a little bit ahead, not like way down the road kind of thing, but a little bit ahead. And when the day comes that Mom can't do certain things for herself, that way I'll have some help, right? And with some people who she has established a relationship with, and that she knows, rather than waiting until the last, past the time frame, and then she's got strangers coming in to give her a hand with something. Yeah. So anyway, I was outside. I was thinking, no, not a wood tick. It's not. Yeah, so I was busy doing that this morning. Yeah. Okay, so with the card draw this morning, we got several cards. I think we've got four again? Yeah, 4 cards again. And so we'll go through them, and there's some cards that we've had before. And how I asked this morning, for those who might be joining us and haven't been here before, everybody welcome. I'm so glad you're here. We're using this card deck. It's called the Spirit of the Wheel. It's a meditation deck by Linda Iwashina, and it is illustrated by Jody Bergsma. And these two ladies are from British Columbia. So we're getting the perspective, the flavor of the northern west coast of Turtle Island, and how they use the medicine wheel. Okay. And it's not all that different. There's a lot of similarities, and there's some differences as well. Yeah, there we go. Oh, you're frozen, Tina. Is anybody else experiencing difficulty? Because otherwise, Tina, just refresh your screen. That might help. Okay. And depending on what you're using, if you're using your phone, that will help. Or maybe your Wi-Fi or your connection isn't good. Isn't strong enough, or if you're sitting at your laptop, it might depend on how many windows you have open. You might have to close a couple of windows, and then refresh your screen. That helps. I'm hoping if anybody else is having problems with their video, please let me know. Okay. All right. Okay. So the first card. In the card draw intention, it was about the usual the energy that's flowing today. What's most important for us to know about? But I also added that that will be an insightful information for those that will be listening, right, and watching. And so this is the first card that came, and we've had this one before, Turtle Clan. We've actually had this card a few times. It's all about grounding, steady progress, and solidity. Right? And it's the 5th stone in the medicine wheel creation that Linda Iwashina uses. fifth stone, Turtle Clan. And the first time I saw this card, the image in the background there, I thought it was like a shield, and I was thinking, what is that? But really, what it is a turtle. It's a turtle on, like, it's like almost like a mandala. Yeah. And I remember, I think it was you, Jocelyn, the first time we saw this card, you were saying that, I think it was you, that middle portion, this portion, whoops, that one, that you were saying that it was like, you're seeing, it's like the third eye, right? Yeah. We've talked about this card a few times, and definitely this is about grounding. And, the turtle is touching the earth, right? And around the turtle is their stone people. So it's a very grounding energy. Very grounding energy. And it's always a good reminder. It's always a good reminder for us, right? Is to remember to do our grounding, right? Twice a day. For most people, twice a day, at least. Depending on what's going on in your life and whether we're going through an eclipse or Mercury retrograde or any of the other cosmic kind of forces. Sometimes solar flares, that's another one. That sometimes we have to check in with ourselves and see if we need to ground again, right? And not too long ago, I don't know, some of you may have been in the live chat with her, with Polly Jo, the first time that she shared about a change in how she was doing grounding herself and also teaching grounding. And she got this from her spiritual team, is that rather than paying close attention and focusing on our root chakra when we ground, but to actually focus on our heart chakra when we're grounding, and that we're literally grounding from our heart to Grandmother Earth's heart. And so we're going heart to heart. And there's many people who've tried this and have found that it's very, very helpful. So for me, I'm just seeing it as one of those changes that we need to do because we're living in a different energy field, right? And so you might want to try that. So this first card, when I was talking to my spiritual team about it, I said, okay, we've gotten this card a few times. So what is this really about? What haven't we covered with this? And they wanted us to focus on the steady progress. And to take in the fact that this is a number 5 card. And 5 is all about change. Transformation. It's kind of that in between, It's that in between spot because when you think about number 5, 1 through 10, right? 5 is right in the middle, and so you're kind of doing that betwixt and between, right? The betwixt and between. That even though we have that feeling that we're in between here and there, the Celts call it, that's where the magic is, in the betwixt and the between. But even when we're in the betwixt and the between, we're still moving forward. There's some who might feel like they're not moving fast enough because they want it, whatever they're going through, they want it done so they can move on to the next thing. Yeah. This particular card today is all about the steady progress. We're being asked to slow down, especially when we are taking into consideration the changes that we've been through. Perhaps you're in the middle of a shift or a change. And as much as you can to go by divine timing, right? Rather than thinking that you have to get it done quickly, right? It's kind of a Western world kind of perception about success, really, right? Is the faster you can get it done, the more you can get done, um, the more successful you are. That's kind of like a belief system. And so the fast, do it quick, right? And this particular card is asking us to slow down. Is even though we may feel like we're not making any progress, in that slower pace, we're actually tuning into what's going on around us and inside of us at a slower pace, that we can actually spend a little bit more of our energy in that space. When we're going really fast or expecting things to go fast, our mental mind and our personal energy is in a faster mode. And so we're more concerned, our focus is on that, right? Rather than taking in the energetic information that's coming through. And also, if you're in the integration period after a shift or a change, yeah, you really want to go slow. It's kind of like it's a steady progress, right? Even though it's at a slower pace, because that way we can ensure that we have completed all the aspects at a deeper level that's optimal for us individually, right? Yeah, I don't know why, but they just showed me this image of a speed skater on the ice and how they go flying across the ice. You know, lots of times that's what our daily life is like. It's good that we're skating along, but it's the speed, because it takes a lot of our focus and our attention to go that fast and to keep our balance, right? Yeah, I think that's why they showed it to me. So the turtle clan, the energy of turtle clan is all about that steady progress. It's okay to slow down. It's okay when it comes to your spiritual growth and your experience as a spirit. It's actually more optimal to go with that flow, that slower movement. Most of us aren't used to that. Right? Most of us aren't used to that at all. Hey, Rochelle's here. Hello, Rochelle. Donna's here too. Hello, Donna. And Karen popped in too. Hi, Karen. I know you didn't say anything, but I'm going to say hi to you anyway. Rochelle says, today is a good day. Went to PT, took a short nap. Oh, that sounds good. Now just sitting in my recliner, listening and hearing your wise words. Well, thanks for being with us. I always enjoy having you in the chat, Rochelle, and adding your wisdom, right, to the conversation, your 2 cents. It's always good. And she also says, I would have to use my walker with the ice skates. LOL. Yeah, it's funny. But you know, when I was talking to my team about this morning after I drew the cards, when I said, you know, we've had this card a few times, so what about it that we need to focus on? What haven't we turned our attention to enough with this card? And it was about the steady progress. And when we're talking about belief systems and consciousness shifts, right? Shift in consciousness, that this is a part of it. This is a part of it. That we have to bring into our being that we're actually, when we're spirit, right, there is no time. There is no measurement of time or space. The measurement of time and space comes into play in our humanness and our two-leggedness, because we do. we do need to take a look at the time and be in certain places at certain times, right? And that we have to get certain amount of things done, especially if you have an employer, right? When you have an employer, there's certain expectations, right? And so at those times in your life, pun intended, in that part of your life, it's okay to be aware of the clock and how much you're producing and how much you're getting done. It's okay. But when it comes to our soul growth, is not to try to control the flow of it. Right? That our soul growth happens in divine timing. In divine timing. And when we can slow down in that and take some of our earth time to go within and to be in that quiet space, right? In that quiet space. There's something that the author writes about this with eternal medicine. She's saying that that the turtle pace assures that our goals are grounded and that you will, in fact, have the energy and perseverance to reach the desired end. Right? Georgie's trying to get comfortable to lay down. Can you hear him? He's scratching at the carpet. All right. And she also says that living in the moment allows us to build up our reserves of inner strength. Turtle teaches us to become centered and grounded. Okay. So to remember to do our grounding and our centering. And that could be your quiet moment twice a day. Because it doesn't take long. We pause for it, right? Right. Yeah. It'd be nice. It'd be great if you could fit in, a meditation, 10, 15 minutes or longer. That would be great. But it's more important to be able to take a couple of those deep breaths and to get quiet. And sometimes that's all you really need, right? Sometimes. Here's the prayer. I like her prayers. Here's her prayer for Turtle Clan. She says, through the lessons of the turtle, I move towards my goals with a steady, slow progress that will assure completion. My life is more complete when I take the time to enjoy myself, as my body is healthier and my mind clearer. I honor Turtle for opening my connection to the Earth Mother, and I am grateful for the gifts that she has given me. Yeah. So Turtle also reminds us of our connection to Grandmother Earth. Right? Yeah. When I first consciously started to take in more kind of information about spirituality and all of that. And I was reading, I read a lot to begin with, but reading voraciously, and watching videos and taking in as much information as I could and discerning, right, what felt good to me and what didn't. And, and living, I was working for the state of Wisconsin at the time, and life was in the fast lane. And I remember my spiritual guides, what they would do is that they would play this song, and sometimes it wasn't even on the radio. Sometimes I was hearing it, right? And it was, slow down, you're moving too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just skipping down the cobblestones. Yeah, feeling groovy, right? But as soon as I heard that phrase, slow down, you're moving too fast, that was their way of getting that message to me, is that I wasn't paying attention to what was really important for me at the time, and to slow down. Yeah. Those were the days when I was able to do meditations at, 30, 45 minutes, that kind of thing. I was even teaching I was doing free meditation time in the town that I lived in. And So yeah, slowing down, trying to be in bringing together that divine timing with some of your earth time, and to know that even though it doesn't feel like you're moving forward and it's taking forever for something to get done, is to be able to slow down and be okay with the slower progress. Um, and I know sometimes it's hard to do, isn't it? Because we get impatient. We feels like we've been waiting forever to move forward. Um, yeah, listening to spirit when you're going slower, so that you can actually say, oh, that's what they meant by that, right? Yeah. All right, here's the second card. The second card, introspection. It's a spirit path of the West. It's about new perspective, retreat, and unity. Yeah, we've had this card before as well. So it's a 39th stone in the creation of the wheel. That's a 12. And then you have to add the 1 and the 2 together, so that's a 3, right? And the three is about the ascended masters. It can also be about Mother Maiden Crone, about feminine energy. And even when you look at the numbers in their shapes, they're feminine energy numbers. They're curvy, right? They're curvy. They're not like a 1, which is a straight line, which is a very masculine shaped number. So this is really about a lot of feminine energy here. And don't you just love this image? I just love it. You can certainly feel the energy of the Pacific Northwest, can't you? Yeah, love it. My camera, come on, focus. Focus. Um, and so just in the shapes, right? You got the totem pole in the background, and the different fish. Of course, the bear. Introspection. It's about new perspectives, retreat, and unity. And it's been a while since we had this one, so I'm going to read part of it, okay? What the author has to say. She says, you have recently gone through a period of confusion and chaos that left you feeling off center, with little control over your life. Silent retreat within creates a safe place where you can calmly gain some perspective in your life. So if you've been through a change, if you've been through a life lesson and you're coming out to the other side of it, or maybe you're more in the center of it, so it still feels like there's chaos, because usually that does feel that way when we're going through change, right? There's a moment of that chaos as things are shifting around. And what she's saying is that with the energy of this card is that if we can go within and find a quiet spot, a quiet place within, right, just to catch our breath. And many people who live their life by the medicine wheel, where we do that is we go to the center of the wheel, where the creator resides. It's a very quiet place. It's in the center, right? And so we can go there. It's almost like respite. You can go there. This is how I imagine it, is that if you've been through your life lesson and you're in the integration piece, you're actually in the center of the wheel in your life. It's a place of respite. It's a place of quiet retreat, going within, right? Yeah. And so what she's saying is that whenever we feel overwhelmed by the changes that it's occurring and how it's occurring, is that if we go within and find that quiet solitude place within, it's usually within our hearts, right? It's a good time to do that, to give yourself a little bit of a breather. And she's saying that as you journey within, close off all the noise and interference of your outer world. Within the sacred space, you are able to connect with your higher self and feel the oneness of spirit that will bring unity back into your life. This is an optimum time to work on developing your dreams and visions from a place of balance and solitude. Your true nature and potential will reveal itself. And then pursue your dreams with the faith and the trust that what you aspire to create comes from a higher vision, not from someone else's expectations, but from the higher place, a place of universal oneness. Then the ideas and the thoughts that flow through your mind are truly inspired by the divine. She says, taking the time to retreat and gain some perspective will bring you into a state of balance where your mind, body, and emotions and spirit are all working in sync. Right? So in order to be able to bring in that new perspective that change brings to you, right, is to be able, you have to be able to go to that quiet place. You have to do that retreat to really bring it in and to understand it. And sometimes it's such a change in your life that you need that quiet space just to catch your breath, right? Jocelyn is saying a very meaningful card. I believe it is too. Tina's still having problems with her screen freezing. Rats, huh? Yeah, I don't know if you can even hear me, Tina, but let me know. Are you on your phone or are you on a computer and a laptop? Because maybe I can help you a little bit if I know which device you're using. And so here's the prayer for this card. I like this one. Okay, it says, as I take the time now to gain perspective within myself, I ask for your guidance, Great Spirit, to help me to experience that oneness of spirit that will ultimately bring unity in my life. Okay? So taking the time, that quiet space, to gain your perspective. And what does that mean, right? What does that mean to gain your perspective? To me, it's a lot of that is about discerning what just happened. What just happened, right? How does that affect me? What am I supposed to do with this? How am I supposed to use that? And so when you go within and you get quiet, you're allowing your spiritual team to bring you some information that you're slowing down to be able to do that. So can you see how these first two cards go together? Can you sense that? It's that steady progress and that introspection, going into retreat, going within. And when we do that, we slow down. We enter the divine timing. And we do need that quietness to discern for ourselves what we just experienced, right? Without well-meaning most of the time. Friends and family, when you share with them what occurred, many times they want to help, right? And so they give you their perspective of it. what they think happened or what they feel happened and what it might mean for you. And it's all in because they love you. They're trying to help you. But there is, this is my belief, okay? My 2 cents is that before you take in someone else's perspective or opinion or how they color it, right, is to take a moment or moments of quiet to have that conversation with your own spiritual team, with your higher self, with the creator, and ask for clarity around it so you can discern for yourself, right? And then once you get an idea or a feeling about it, then by all means, have that conversation with your friends and your family, your inner circle, those people that you trust, and gain some insight from what they have to say. But it's not them doing the discerning, it's you. It's you. And many times what happens is that what they have to add to it will help you kind of round out what you got from your spiritual team and from your higher self, from the creator. And so it helps to kind of fill in maybe the gaps, right? But they're not the ones doing the discerning, you are. It's really empowering. And it's a moment of maturity in almost all of your bodies, okay? Maturity in your physical body because you're not rushing ahead. Your mental body, again, you're not rushing ahead. And you're not taking in a whole lot of information from many different sources, so you're not feeling overwhelmed, because you're probably already feeling that to begin with. And it shows some maturity in your emotional body because you're going in to that quiet place, right? To connect with spirit and spiritual maturity. Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Oh, good. Tina's saying she's on a computer. She can hear. It's just the video keeps freezing. Okay. As long as you can hear it, that's good, Tina. I'm hoping that, if you have time to rewatch the recorded piece, so you can actually see the cards, that would be good. Jocelyn says, slow down and go within. Yes, slow down and go within. And that even though it feels like it's it's too slow, it's really about its steady progress. It's about steady progress. Yeah, and Tina's saying for me, it went fast. It was hard for me to know what was happening to me. Yeah. And so when we feel even those moments of that kind of overwhelm, it's like, the change is going so fast, right? And sometimes that it does happen that way. It does. That the slowing down piece for something like that is in the integration. Don't rush the integration. Take whatever time, earth time you need to be able to integrate it fully. Right? Yeah. Yeah, because you're right, Tina. Sometimes that the change happens quite quickly, especially when you've done all the healing work already and you've done you're doing the work, right? You're doing the work and you're not in resistance. It's when we're getting in the resistance that we slow things down and it becomes sometimes excruciating painful. All right, so here's the third card. Got to watch the time. Third card is wisdom, spirit path of the East. It's about the universal law, learning, and sharing. And look at that. It's the 33rd stone in the wheel. 3-3. It's all about the ascended masters. Right? Yeah, and I really like the artwork on this card. So this is all about learning and sharing. Right? Learning and sharing. That we have many, many opportunities around us to learn our life lessons in a good way, right? Yeah, and sometimes when we've slowed down and we're paying attention to who and what is around us, and that we're learning all the time, right? We're learning all the time. And you know what my favorite part is? My favorite part is sitting down with an elder and just listening to their stories. Sometimes they're telling their life stories, or when something happened to them, and that sort of thing. And I'm not necessarily even asking them a question or going to them to help me with something to understand it. Sometimes it's just sitting down and having a cup of tea with them, and they start telling you, they memories of their youth and that sort of thing. Because we're learning all the time, all the time. Yeah. But with this particular piece, here it is. We're learning our life lessons, right? And when we go through that, that experience, when we get through it and we're in the integration period, and we're taking it all in and trying to understand it and how it's shifted our lives, and as we start gaining the wisdom from that experience, we become teachers. How many people in the audience consider themselves a teacher? A teacher. Yeah. There's those of us that that's part of our soul purpose, right? To be a teacher of one kind or another, a trainer. Yeah. But honestly, this is my 2 cents. I think we're all teachers. I think that we teach the wisdom that we've gained. And that's all about taking it back to our community, right? And sometimes it really is we don't even have to say anything sometimes. All it is that we're living our life in the best way possible, using the wisdom that we've gained, and we become role models from it. Just by quietly living our lives. Right? Oh my goodness, Barb Schultz is here. Hello, Barb. Oh, it's so good to see you in the chat. Love it. Tina's saying, scared me when I felt a lot of spirits and all her negativity around my sister. Boy, all the emotions that was negative was too much for her. So I said, slow down, and it did. Oh, good. Good. But look how much you learned, right? Yeah. Got to slow down for the mental mind. For the mental mind to kind of not get freaked out, right? Yeah, because your other bodies were good to go. Yeah, it's the mental mind that slows us down, because it doesn't it's trying to find the logic, and when we can't find the logic, we freak out. And seeing the numbers, Jocelyn is saying, and seeing the numbers, yes. Jocelyn also says, so much wisdom from the elders, we need to listen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Do you remember Okay, I'm going to date myself here. Do you remember back in the old days before the internet, before 1996, and how we used to go and visit? We would, maybe it was a Sunday afternoon or sometimes in the middle of the week, if you had a day off or something like that, you would go and visit relatives. Go visit. We used to take my grandmother. My mom would drive my grandmother because my grandmother didn't drive. My grandmother would want to go visit a cousin or an in-law or somebody like that, right? And so my mom would, in the summertime, we'd have to go with her because we never had a babysitter. And so we'd get in the car and we'd all go wherever grandma wanted to go. And yeah, we either had to sit in the car, we could come in, but we had to be quiet. You sit and you listen. And if you're old enough, you could actually have a cup of tea. Usually they'd give you a glass of water, but those are some of my fondest memories of listening to them. And sometimes they'd be speaking in Ho-Chunk. And so, I don't know enough Ho-Chunk to be fluent or to even, I can kind of get the gist of what they're saying. And so, yeah, those are some of my favorite memories of my grandmother. Yeah. Yeah. I try. Me too. I try to. Jocelyn says some listen and some don't. That's true. Hey, Deborah's here too. Hi, Deborah. Rochelle says, years ago when I earned my MSW teaching students community work and workshops for the teaching. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it is a part of your profession, right? Or it is a profession that you've chosen, right? It kind of, in a spiritual sense, um, it chose us. Because I didn't start out with the intention or the goal to be a spiritual teacher. No. Mm-mm. And a lot of times I don't even consider myself that. I'm just sharing what I know. And if it's helpful to somebody, then yay. And if it's not, that's okay too. That's all right. But when it comes to certain kind of classes, I really feel like it needs to be in person, and so that you can be in each other's physical energy field, right? And to be able to do some of those storytellings in person. Yeah. All right. And Deborah says, I'm getting on here late today. Hello. Hello, Deborah. Now it's all right. I know we've only got about 10 minutes, not even left, but that's all right. It's important that you're here now. All right. So this is Wisdom Spirit Path of the East. And it's all about the universal law, learning and sharing. And for today, it really is about the learning and sharing part of this. Because here's what the author has to say that kind of jumped out at me. Remember, wisdom in all its power always leads us to further enlightenment. Further enlightenment. And the prayer is, Great Spirit, I open my heart to the teachings that are all around me, and I am thankful for the wisdom I receive. I am aware there is a spiritual law governed by a higher power that exists on the principles of unconditional love and compassion. And that universal law is about the balance, the scales of spiritual justice by sharing your gifts of wisdom with others when the right moment arises. So that's kind of like what I was saying, is that sometimes we don't have to have an organized class. You don't have to have an organized live stream. Really, all you're doing is living your life in the best way that you can, and using the wisdom that you've gained through your life lessons, using your wisdom in your everyday life, and people see that. You're not even saying anything. It's just the way that you live your life. And many times that is more powerful than any words that you could speak, right? Yeah. And so when you take your wisdom to your community, sometimes it is you're a very active participant in it, where you're literally leading classes and that sort of thing. But there's also the passive part, and that is you're just living your life in a good way and using the wisdom that you gained. And many times that speaks so much louder, right? It speaks so much louder. Tina says a person can be a voice for the voiceless. Yes, that's for sure. It is a beautiful card, Jocelyn. It is. All right, so we have one more. This is a good one. All right. Here's the last card. Earth Renewal Moon. We've never had this card before. It's about greater responsibility, inner knowing, and teaching. It's the 16th stone in the medicine wheel creation, right? Which is a 7. And that's about spirit, and it's about doing, the action of spirit working through you. The author says that life is a continual learning process, and there'll be times when we move from the role of student to that of the teacher. You have recently mastered some area of your life. Having triumphed over opposition, now is a time for you to share your newfound wisdom. The hardest part of being a teacher is to offer your wisdom, then stand back without judging and allow the student to follow their own paths. The world is a big place, so pace yourself and do not take on more responsibilities than you can handle. Keep an open heart and be compassionate towards others. Everything else will unfold in a positive light. That picture of that wolf is something else, isn't it? I love the stars, not just behind him, but in him. And the full moon covering his eye, his left eye. Yeah, it's a good one. Now we have to taking it back to our first card, which was Turtle, right? Turtle Plan. And that was about steady progress. Okay, here's my feeling about this particular, our last card, is that when we have steady progress in our spiritual growth, right? That we don't rush through it, and that we're when we need to slow down and go within, that we do that, so that we can really take in the fullness of our experience and gain that wisdom, that we do complete it, okay? And then we move through that piece, and here is the results of it when we are at a steady progress, a slower pace, that we're actually in divine timing as much as we possibly can be as two-leggeds. That this is the goal. This is our achievement. This is our okay, I keep hearing the word validation. Okay, our validation is that we're able to teach from our wisdom. That we're comfortable and self-confident in our inner knowing. In our inner knowing. Some people say that you're comfortable in your own skin, right? Yeah. But this is where we end up. And we're not always actively teaching. We're just living our life. We're sharing our wisdom in many, many different ways. Yeah. Hey, Pat's here too. Hello, Pat. Good to have you here. Jocelyn said, I love the strength of the wolf and the moon. Me too. Full moon. And the full moon is all about completion, right? Completion. You know, and wolf medicine is all about community. They're family oriented, right? The alpha male and the alpha female, um, they have a huge responsibility to their community. They're the ones that organize the hunts. They're the ones that do all the communication, right, within their clan. They're the ones that take care of the old and the young. The alpha male and the female don't lead the pack when they're moving from one place to another. The alpha female and the alpha male are last. They're following the pack. Why? Is so that they can watch and see who needs help, right? Who needs some intervention? Thinking about the young ones. And so they're making sure that their entire family is taken care of, right? Yeah. They have a lot of responsibility. But they're very community oriented, family oriented. They live in clans, packs they're called. So literally, you know, and I know that this is the Earth renewal moon. The dates go December 22nd to January 19th. So it's in the northern part of the wheel, right? And for me, in the northern part of the wheel is where the ancestors lie. It is about stability and balance. It's where the stone people reside, right? And when we're walking the good road, the red road, we're going from the south to the north. And that is where we're taking all of the experience, all the wisdom that we gain on the east-west road, we're taking it to on the north road, that wisdom back to our community. So we get to share our wisdom with our community. Yeah. Pretty good, huh? I like it. I like it a lot. Pat says, I'll catch up on the replay. Okay. And Jocelyn says, I have great respect for wolf. Me too. We actually have quite a few packs around here. For a while there, we were pretty much surrounded. We had 2 packs, large packs on Fort McCoy, which is just to the west of us, about 10 miles away. And then there's a pack to the east of us in the Cedar Wildlife Refuge. And I don't know how large that pack is. And then there's a pack to the north of us in the Black River Falls State Forest, right? And then to the south of us, and south and west of us is another pack, which is down near La Crosse more. So here in Wisconsin, we have wolves, and I know that our state government doesn't like them very much. But anyway, this is that's the last card. And I know we're at the top of the hour, but I want to show you all of the cards that we received today. Okay. Now, you know how this works, right? You have to take a big, deep breath in and calling to your spiritual team as you exhale to come help you, to take in as much of the information, the essence, the spirit of the cards as possible. That's optimal for you for right now. Right? All right. Let's see if I can get them all in there. So I can't really see what they look like. So we start out here with the turtle clan, and we were really focusing on the steady progress. And then we went to the introspection. And it's about that new perspective, but more so about retreating, getting quiet, going within to discern for yourself about what just occurred for you in that change. And then we got the wisdom card, right? The wisdom card. And it was all about the learning and the sharing, your wisdom. And then the last card. Oops. And the last card. About inner knowing and teaching. So just, take it in. You're taking in a lot more than you think you are with your physical eyes, but allowing whatever messages that are coming specifically for you to take in the information, asking your spiritual team to assist you. Okay. All right. So whatever resonated with you, right, with the information that Spirit's sharing with us today, is to embrace it, whatever that is, whether it was a word, a phrase, the whole thing, whatever that was, just to embrace it. And then watch, see, sense, feel, see how today's energy is unfolding for you and where this information is helpful to you, insightful to you, right? Helpful. Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry. Don't worry about it. Everything's okay. Doesn't need to. Doesn't have to. Perhaps you're just the messenger, right? You get to share the recorded video show, maybe with somebody that you know that's looking for this kind of information, and that's all you were meant to do, right? Yeah, it's okay. And I know I'm going over a bit. I had some initial technical difficulty to get the show started this afternoon, so it's going over just a bit because we got started late. Yeah. Jocelyn is saying, great cards today. I know, I agree. Tina says, mostly coyotes here and some mountain cats. Yeah, those mountain cats they're known as apex predators, right? So are wolves. And so they carry a certain kind of energy, right, to them. Yeah. Jocelyn is saying, slow down, go within, gain the knowledge and wisdom, and share your teachings with others. Yes, exactly, Jocelyn. Exactly. And Jocelyn says, I love these cards, Neshi. How can I get some? Okay, so usually Stephanie is here, right? Stephanie, who is our social media manager, and she had a dental appointment today, so she couldn't be here live with us. You can get them through Amazon.com. You can get them, I'm sure, probably at a local bookstore too, who sells divination cards. It was copyrighted in 2006. Now, Jocelyn, if you want, take a look back anytime this month or even last month, because we started using these cards like the 5th of June or something like that. And whenever Stephanie is in the house, she will put the link, the Amazon link, into the comments. And so if you want, you can get the link that way. What I could do is also put it in the comments after the show is done. That would be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll put the link in there. And I don't know if I've ever shared about who Linda Iwashina is. I think I did way in the beginning. But here's just a little bit about the author. It says, Linda has combined a nursing background with spiritual practices in her work as a professional healer. She also has been a Reiki master and teacher for 8 years and currently does readings and meditations for the Simsu First Nation, and I probably mispronounced that. Her previous writing includes spiritual greeting cards and published poems. She has also written a young adult novel and a book on the spiritual messages and prophecies associated with the white buffalo. Interesting, huh? All right, so I will get that link in the comments for you, Jocelyn, okay, after the show is done. And I hope you guys can join us for some of the shows this week. We've got some good ones coming up. Tomorrow morning is Mervyn Kelly from Star to Stone, and he has posted 3 articles on his fan page from Star to Stone, and he wants to have a conversation about those postings. So, and they're really good ones. I really enjoyed them. Really, one of them is really thought-provoking. So join us for that. That's at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern Time, Tuesday. And then Chakra Sessions with Polly Jo LeBay is on at noon. And her show is about, I sounded Canadian there, didn't I? Her show is about igniting your soul purpose. Yeah, that's at noon Eastern Time. And then Tuesday night is my weekly show, evening show at 8 p.m. Eastern. And what we're talking about on Tuesday night is, are you too much or not enough? Have you ever been told that? You're too sensitive, or you live too much in your head. You're a brainiac, you know? You're kind of nerdy. Yeah. You're not enough or you're too much. So we're going to be talking about that Tuesday night. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is Soul Connections with Polly Jo LeBay. And you know that's an evening of healing and divine messages, those card draws. And those have become very popular, those card draws. And then on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time is Life Wisdom with Ed Langdon. And guess what he's talking about? Manifesting. And he's talking about, there's a couple mistakes that we sometimes make in manifesting. He's going to talk about those, and he's also going to do some EFT, some emotional tapping, to help allow our desires to manifest. And then he's also going to do some channeling work for us too. So if you have a question for him, we'll get his how you can reach him to send him your question. Okay. All right. And then on Thursday night, Thursday night is the Academy, the closed group here at Facebook Academy. Our free mini class for the month is with Orchard and Carl Franklin. They're going to come in and they're going to be helping us understand how to stay in meditation when you have some chaos or things going on around you, or maybe even those mental thoughts that keep intruding. And this is in response to a request made by people in our community about this particular topic. And so that's on at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday evening, and over at the closed group for the Academy. Okay? All right. Wow. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. I know we went over quite a bit, and I appreciate you guys being with me. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the Spiritual Roundtable at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the next card draw and the spiritual conversation, right? Okay. So, Bama Mina, that's in Potawatomi, means until we see each other again. Love you guys.